Welcome back, everyone, to the Tool Scrounge channel. My name is Jason, and I know it's been a couple weeks, but there just haven't been any sales lately. Well, until last weekend, and so I picked up a few things there, and uh, I actually went through the process of cleaning some of the stuff up this time, just so I didn't have to like pause and do some cleaning in the middle of the videos. Hopefully, it works out, but. Anyway, I'm gonna start this off with just had a lot going on. I haven't been able to get my website up and running. I need to wait until they clear the financial back end of it, I guess, to be able to buy stuff off of the site. It takes some time to get connected to my bank account, and yeah. So anyway, there's been a couple other things going on. And I'll just get into this, and I'm going to start off with I'll go over a few things that I've had in my past unboxings and tool hauls and that I've cleaned up and restored, and then I'll just go through the stuff I picked up last weekend. So anyway, uh, yeah, I'm glad you're all here. And can't thank you enough for continuing to tune in. So, um, at any rate, let's get started with what I got. All right, be right back. All right, well, first off, I'm going to start with the things that I've sort of cleaned up, and I don't know if I'd call them restorations or anything, but if you remember back a little while, this says, I believe that this is like a caulking tool for a shipwright, and it was pretty rusty, and so I just kind of de-rustified it, cleaned it up, oiled it. A little dirt on there. Hopefully you can hear me over the background of my shop heat. It's going back. It's really cold in here. Anyway, it says I don't know if somebody answered this. If they did, I don't remember, but it says 1986. I doubt that that's the year it was made. It might just be the model number. But it says Dave something 4813. See if we can see that. London on it. And it just had kind of a unique shape. So it was something that I would add to my shipwrights toolbox, which I'll probably tour at a later date. Next up, we have a Starrett scraper. Just, same thing, got rid of the rust, cleaned it up the best I could with some steel wool and, what do you call them? Abrasive pads. I believe this is a Starrett because the Starrett ones have 3 lines on the handles, but it is unmarked otherwise and has a unique shape profile. Originally, when I got it, it was very rusty and kind of pitted out, and I thought that maybe that was um, a break, I guess, but it's obviously been profiled, and so it was probably for some kind of trim or molding or cabinet making. So I don't know if that's something you could have ordered from the factory or if it was custom. I tend to go with custom, but these are really great because you can loosen them, sorry, the handle here, and then they have a ball pivot so you can put them in whatever position you want and then lock it. So this is, I think I have 3 of these total. The handle is still pretty trashed, but I'm cleaning up a wood lathe so I can try and remake some of these. It does have a threaded nut inside here somewhere, so I'm assuming that these cracks are from over tightening it, but I don't know. I wasn't there. So anyway, I just tend to really love these scrapers. Next up, I have what I assume is a forged body panel beating spoon. It's pretty rough, but you can tell it's hand forged because the handle and the face of it are all one piece. And you can see how it was made from a flat. So it's pretty interesting. You know, again, I don't know for sure that that's what it was for. It could be like a blacksmith's flatter, you know, sort of a different kind of where you could hold it and then, you know, beat curved metal flat using this. But I really like that it has a star stamped into it that somebody marked. But just overall, the shape is pretty beautiful. I'm tempted to smooth it out some, but I don't really think I need to. I think that, you know, maybe the edges are a little bit sharper than I'd like, but if I use it for heavier dutier work, that's not really a concern. Next up, I have this CS Osborne leather cutter. I showed it in a couple videos back. It was very rusty and it cleaned up absolutely beautiful. The blade is still intact. I have another one where the blade's not, and the blade's original. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring the light over here. There we go. So, and it is engraved with their logo there too. Put that back in so I don't lose the little pieces. There's a wedge here. But yeah, I just put that in Evaporust, cleaned it up. Oh, it's got a little bit more flash rust there. I'll have to take care of that. But all in all, it's like it cleaned up pretty beautifully. Wooden handle with pins, so that part I didn't soak. I had to do it using a Fordham and some jeweler's cleaning tools. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool item. And oh yeah, okay. Sorry. Another thing I cleaned up was this PNC Pry Bar alignment bar. It's got a tapered, oh, some stuff stuck to it, round end on it. PNC was purchased by Plum back in the day, and Proto. I think they went from a contractor, subcontractor stamping out wrenches and possibly sockets, but it's a PNC 103 USA made. I had to do some work on the flat end to get it profiled nicely, but it didn't take a lot of work to really do that. I'm not going to do a super fine shine on it or anything because it's a pry bar, which I will use. So yeah, that's it for, I think, let me look here, the past stuff that I cleaned up. I mean, obviously there's some more that I've done, but they weren't something I wanted to update right now. But so on to the new stuff I got last weekend. This is believe it's a lifter. The ends look like this. And on one end it says Ford 1932 to 48, made in the USA. And on the other end it says Ford 1949 and later. So I asked some questions around about this. The ampersand between 1949 and later, and then the shape of the A would tell me that this is made by Plum or Proto probably, because 49 and later they went to Proto at that point. But next to Made in the USA is ground off, and that may have been done in the factory because they wanted to sell it through other channels. So they got rid of the Proto logo. But anyway, it was very rusty. I picked it up. It's kind of an interesting specialized tool, and I don't have a Ford, but that's okay. I can probably either figure out to use it for other things, or more than likely I'll probably sell it on the website though. I know there are a lot of Ford guys out there that like the wrenches and stuff, and that seems like an interesting thing to add. Not very common. Let me fix this light here. So next up I have this Gem Manufacturing Company oiler, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The interesting about this, besides the brass knurled nut, is that this is a pump. And I haven't seen one of these before. Usually they're a bellows oiler, which is what those are called at the bottom there. But this has sort of a weird or uncommon pump design in it. For this style of oiler anyway. A lot of them, you see the trigger kind, and they have that same kind of pump in there, but I have not seen one with this. Unfortunately, as I was cleaning it up, I discovered there's a couple of little pinholes in here. It was full of oil, and I believe the dirt and grime and viscosity of the oil was actually sealing that. But now that I cleaned it up, there's a couple of little pinholes that have become apparent. So this one's just going to have to sit on a shelf. I do have another one of these oilers, which I think the vessel part of it is not messed up. So I might be able to, and it's the same. So I'll probably be able to make a usable one out of it. But I don't know. I've got so many of these, I probably don't need to really have it in that capacity. So next up is a Kettle, sort of, I don't know what kind of, like a teapot sort of style oiler. I know they like to call these, some people call them railroad oilers, or kettle style. And it's pretty nice. I have another one exactly like this, but it was only a few bucks, so I picked it up. Little chain on the top, and it's made by Eagle. These are pretty nice. Like, I know a lot of people used them to refill drip oilers, like the old brass and glass kind that were on machines. You go around as part of your routine and top those off on a schedule as needed. So anyway, I thought it was pretty nice. Just a sort of unique, basic utilitarian style, which, you know, I love that. So let's see, let's set this aside here. And next up, finally, in the oiler front, I picked up a Eagles number 66 brass oiler. I think this is number 5 of the ones that I have. These are pretty fantastic. Sometimes they have a flexible sort of, let's see if I can get a better, there we go, neck on the tip, excuse me. And occasionally when I find these, the seals and stuff need replacement, but You can buy that stuff off the shelf at most mom and pop hardware stores. I tend to not like the ones with the narrow lip on the bottom because they do get a little top heavy and tip over. So I have to put them in like a container or something so they don't do that. I have seen some slip over the top rings that when it's all stripped down, you can slide over the top and it fits tightly down at the bottom. Other ones have wider flanges so they don't tip over as easily, but as you can see, the stem, the nozzle is a little bit top heavy, but when you fill it up, it like kind of corrects that. So let's move on to the next couple things. Let's see. These were my favorite finds of last weekend. They are some Snap-on body dollies. We've got a new in package, sort of half. I don't know what you call the shape, but it's like a half. It's almost like a horseshoe, but not hollow in the middle. And it's new in the package. So, and then the typical, or this is like a real common one, is sort of a rounded with a bunch of different angles and a handle. But at any rate, these are pretty spectacular finds. I will be selling these ones. The fact that Snap-on is cast into this one is kind of nice because they're etched sort of on the other side, and that etching comes off, which that's what happened to this shape. I had a little bit of light rust on it, so I was taking it off and it came off there. But this is the one out of the three that I got that I will keep because I don't have this shape right now. The other two I do. And along with that was a Blue Point. Let's see if I can. Blue Point body panel spoon. Very flat, lightweight. This one will probably end up going up for sale too because I already have the shape in another set and size, but I'll have to double check that for sure. Get those out of the way. And I picked up a couple of brand new cutting goggles. I like to keep these around. One of them has a magnifying lens inside of it. The other one does not, but it has the tag still. Looks like it's probably never been used. I actually don't have any of these. I have round ones, but not these. And the round ones are probably from the 40s. So they look cool, but they don't fit my big melon either. So, and along with that, I picked up this Welding Hood. Let me kind of zoom back out there. It's made by Blue Point, but was made for Blue Point, Snap-on by, who was it? Let's see, Jackson. So they're really high quality, but this one's got the nice big, it's old school. It's not auto darkening or anything. So, but it's got the nice big window on it. But again, it looks like it's never been used. And I rather like the old school hoods sometimes. So let me find a spot to put it. And let's see, just kind of blazing through this quick. I picked up a Sears Craftsman work light. It's new in the box. It's all in there. It has never been assembled or used. With the retractable cord. I have a couple of these, but I took the work light off of it, the old one, and I use them just for power. I have them hanging behind me on a swing arm so I can have retractable power, you know, extension cords throughout the shop without walking all over them and, you know, just kind of generally tripping over stuff. So I'll probably put this one up for sale. I don't need another one. And I have actually a third one that is never been used also, but it's not Craftsman. It's just Sears model. Let's see, zoom back in here. Next up, this was this incredibly rusty square. I got all the rust off of it and found out that it's shop made, so probably I don't know. I'd have to check, see how square it is. Let me kind of ballpark it here. Yeah, see, it's pretty curved there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a gap. So I don't know. I'll probably just scrap it or use it in some way it's not intended to be used. Maybe some kind of artistic sculpture, but it was not expensive, so worth the risk for sure. I think it was $1. Next up, I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 piece Craftsman USA VA, I guess. Let's see if I can find that in there. VA metric set. I think it starts at 8mm and goes up to 15. Yeah. So, I mean, these are always handy to have. It's still sealed in its bag and USA made. So, I mean, it's not for nothing. Those are decent quality wrenches. We got a machinist hammer handle. It had a hickory label on it, but I took it off. And never been used, still as a staple. Probably pretty modern, but always good to have those in stock for if something breaks. Then, excuse me, I picked up this enameled sign. I have another one up on the wall, but it's smaller. And I don't know, I just, you know, like these utilitarian old signs. And if you can find them cheap enough, they look great in the shop. So next up, I picked up a, what's this? KE? I can't recall what the name of that company, what that stands for, but it's a brass plumbob. It still has the tip. And, you know, there are people out there that like these, so I tend to pick them up and, you know, get them into the hands of the people who want them. So anyway, I know they like to make I think they're a German company, and I have some like office supplies stuff, like architectural pencil sharpeners, you know, old school ones, rulers and stuff like that made by them. So I think that's why it makes sense that they would make plumbobs. I got a little sander. So these, you can put little strips of sandpaper on. It's got a little sponge backing. And they're just kind of handy to have around. Spring-loaded here to put the paper on and off. So just something I like to use. And what is that? Something craft. label. I don't know what it says. Anyway, yeah, it was just something nice to have these around the shop for when you need to sand something real quick. And then let's see, got a few sockets. This was an SK professional box, but everything in here is 1/4 inch extended metric Craftsman. So just clean these up, and they're all made in the US. So anyway, I was just a few bucks, so why not? And I might be able to, if it's not complete, I'll build out a set with it, and or a couple. Next up, I got this wrought iron wall mounted hook. I thought it was decorative. I mean, it is not, it is decorative. I'm not sure 100% if it's handmade. Like, it looks handmade. It might be handmade somewhere else. But there were a fair number of things at the sale, including a couple handles, which are actually still soaking right now. But anyway, it was just forged. I thought it was cool. I could hang it on a wall, and I'm not sure if I'm going to clean all the rust off of it. Probably. I like the look of oiled iron. So at any rate, just thought it was kind of cool thing to have around. Let's see. I picked up some Carpenters tool aprons. Let's see. This one's from Georgia Pacific. There used to be a GP paper mill here, but they closed it down long time ago, back when I was a kid. And this was hanging on a wall in the shop I went to. So I grabbed it on half price day. And along those lines, I got a B&B Lumber Company, 2722 St. Paul Street. That's in Bellingham, Washington. It's a place I used to go to when I was a kid. Anyway, so that's a little more local. And then finally, as far as aprons go, I picked up a Kendall motor oil apron. Let's see. Can't really get it all in the whole shot here. Let's try this. So it has their symbol on it, Kendall motor oil. It is missing the string or rope that goes through and then loops around your neck and then back down and out behind you, but that's easy enough to replace. I thought it was kind of nifty. I'd not seen one of those before, so anyway, fold it back up here. And some oddball stuff I picked up. Let me zoom this back in. I got this large cast iron crank handle. Just a couple bucks, and it says, what is it? I don't know what it's from. 55 per minute, but I have one on a big blacksmith blower, forge blower, and the handle on it is kind of janky and stuff. So I kind of picked this up as a backup for that. And it's a nice, I mean, it's really nice. It's painted or japanned and has a wooden handle, but that's all cracked and stuff. Anyway, I just thought this might be a good sort of combined retrofit with to go on that blower. So at any rate, let's see. What else? I think we're getting towards the end here. Picked up a couple of cannonballs, I'm assuming, different sizes. There was actually a cast iron can in there, and it was half stuck in the mud, but it was too busy or too big and buried for me to get it out of there. So anyway, I picked these up, shined them up. I have too many of them. But to me, it's really cool that they're able back then to be able to make something this spherical and round. I do have another one that is a lot rougher and has more like hammer marks, facets, I guess. So it's really not as spherical, but these are great. And so just something appealing about the shape, of course, but I can also use them to shape copper on, other sort of soft metals. Let's see. I picked up this fantastic giant gear. It has what I assume is a hand crank. Like if you had a piece of wood on here, you'd be able to crank this to run something else. It's got the teeth on it are kind of curved. They're all like that, so I don't know if that's wear and tear or if it was for something specific, but I got this at my local reclamation store and it was only a few dollars, and I thought it was kind of cool to, I'll probably not be able to figure out whatever it was used for originally, but I thought it was cool, and I was actually looking for something to like gear related of this size to attach to my mailbox stand, which I made. And anyway, this kind of fit the bill, but yeah. Just kind of a cool thing to have around visually. And last but not least, I don't know how I'm going to be able to maybe back this up a little bit, see if I can get this all the way in camera. I got a jerry can, but it was unusual because let me kind of adjust here to get this. See if I can get that all the way in the shot. It says 35 pounds net, RPM, registered U.S. Patent Office, gear oil, SAE 140, Standard Oil Company of California, San Francisco. And so, yeah, I'd just never seen anything like that. And this was actually in the ad for the sale, and I was interested in it. But when I arrived, it was too much money. And so I went back on the final day, which was half price day, and it was still there. So I grabbed it because then that made it affordable. Cleaned up some of the grime on it, but I have a few jerry cans. I normally have them sandblasted if they're clean inside and there's no heavy duty rust. And then I repaint them and I use them because I spill less oil with these or gas with these than I do with like a plastic modern safety can. Ironically named since I spill so much oil with them, but the other side says, it's got a faint G right there. Not sure if you can see that. And then USA stamped on the bottom. And it says QMC stamped right along here. But got a few dents. Nice patina though. Probably just oil it up and hang it. Haven't 100% decided whether or not I want to keep it or not, but it's just too cool, really. I mean, so there you have it. Oh yeah, there was another project I kind of wanted to share. Let's see. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I picked up a plasma cutter, and I've been having some fun with some old stuff that's been hanging around. I got a little shaky on I just did it fast and dirty, but on my cuts. But I made a jack-o'-lantern out of an old kerosene can that was clean. I also rinsed it out several times with some water and simple green before cutting into it. But the idea that I'd put in, I had some like orange Halloween kind of Christmas style lights in there, and it worked okay. But I think I'll wire in a bulb and a socket at any rate. But yeah, I had this up in the yard for Halloween. I just thought it was kind of a fun thing to do, and I needed to test out the plasma cutter anyway. So, so that's it. You know, there's a couple more straggler things, but they're not that interesting. I did also pick up some clothes. You know, it's like work shirts and a jacket, like a Carhartt jacket, and I'm cleaning and mending those, and we'll probably put them on the website as well. At any rate, glad you joined me. Glad to have you back. Sorry if this one seemed a little rushed, but I was trying to keep it short and thought I could, but I'm still at over a half an hour right now, so I don't know how that happens. But at any rate, yeah, hope everyone's doing great. Upcoming elections probably got making everybody a little bit tense, but I'm personally hiding away from all of the noise and hubbub, and I've done my part, and hope you do too. Holidays are coming up. I'm gonna try to do more of this when I'm able and when I find stuff. If not, definitely have a few other ideas up my sleeve for you. So as always, please like, comment, subscribe. Can't do this without an audience. I mean, I probably would, but it's more enjoyable. And I'll let everyone know about the website coming up as soon as I get it working. If it's not one thing, it's another. But yeah, have fun. Hope everyone's okay. Enjoy your holidays and keep scrounging. All right, I'll talk to you next time.